Welcome back to the hottest show in the galaxy. It's the Karen Hunter Show. We're here on Sirius XM Urban View, channel 126, and I'm really excited to talk to both of them. I wanted to talk to them individually, but I got them together. So, like, who's living a better life than I am right now? They are starring in something called Morning Show Mysteries, which begins Sunday, April 14th. On the Hallmark movie channel, right?
Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm looking forward to that. Let me welcome to the show Holly Robinson Peete and Rick Fox.
Thank you, Karen.
Yay. Okay, I waited for the applause. All right. Before we get into this,
Yes.
First of all, Smiz and I were talking before you got in. That's my producer. And he said, wasn't Rick Fox on Oz first season?
Wow.
And there was a riot, and he was in the riot, and then it broke out. Do you?
Yes.
And I was like, because that was my show. Adebisi was my dude, by the way. You know, because he had the little hat.
Yeah. Can I just tell you,
that thing stayed on his head.
Walking through the streets of New York with Rick Fox.
Come on now.
I have found out his entire resume. They were going crazy because he was in that movie Eddie. And then, and I mean, everybody knows Rick from some kind of TV show.
And he's spotted in Frog's hair. So,
well, there's that.
So there's that too.
There's that.
But like, I'm a little miffed because I saw him in this with you, Holly Robinson Peete. Yeah. But I'm a Greenleaf fan. So I'm like, is he still with Grace? Like, what's happening? Because I know y'all were Rocky. Is that going to go away? Rick Fox, what's going on?
Well, I go back to shoot next week. So
okay.
I think there may be still a little life in the...
A little life in there? Because y'all have sputters. Do you like Greenleaf, Holly?
I do, but it's weird. I love watching Rick on television and stuff, but for my own purposes, he gets to be my TV boo.
Right.
You know
okay. All right. We're not even all right, because it does feel a little weird to talk about Grace Greenleaf and him. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, we're not talking about Greenleaf today.
Now there is some tension. I've seen some outtakes. Like, so you're playing a talk show host, Holly Robinson Peete,
yes,
who's also a chef,
yes,
who's also something /
right,
and Rick Fox is a detective.
That's correct.
Okay, and your paths cross because you are solving Holly Robinson Peete, the talk show host, the chef, is solving murder mysteries.
I'm getting in his lane basically. So we used to date in high school, went to the prom together, but
my father was a detective, which was my mentor,
right. And we kind of went about our way in life, and now we're kind of finding each other again. It just so happens that, lots of murders seem to happen around Billy Blessings. And she wants to solve them herself, even though that's actually
his job. Yeah. And he's trained to do this.
That's
exactly.
Right.
And my frustration is that I am constantly trying to get my job done, but at the same time, I'm finding that she's always a step ahead of me.
Oh.
Not necessarily in my way. She's always a step ahead of me and basically impersonating a police officer. Now, I understand she comes from a family of where her father was a police officer. So it's genetically in her blood to sniff out, in a detective fashion, sniff out a criminal. Yeah. But she's not licensed. So we're constantly...
She's
just
actually
illegal,
instinct.
What you're doing.
It's actually
he should probably arrest you, and then that would probably solve all of the mysteries. I'm just... listen, just logic. So this is on the Hallmark Mysteries channel, and it's based on a series of books by Al Roker.
Right. Al wrote these novels called Morning Show Murders, and it was based on his life, being a talk show host, chef, and murder happens in a morning show setting. So he literally got into talks about selling the rights to that, and then Billy Blessing was his name, and Billy became Billy with an I-E, and then that's when Holly with the Y came in and started and became Billy Blessings. But it was initially his murder mystery novels were doing really well. I mean, Al's a multitasker. He does a little bit of everything.
He's amazing, and I'm loving the third hour on.
We just did it this morning, and it's so fun.
Yes, he's amazing. So how did you get the script, and then who brought in Rick Fox?
Well, they came to me and said, we're working on developing these murder mysteries. Would you like to be part of it? And I was like, to work with Al? Of course, I would love it. And then they went on and cast. I had nothing to do with the casting of it. Someone at Hallmark Channel said, this is the guy we want. Okay. And I didn't know till last minute. So I was kind of holding my breath because, we have to work together very closely.
There's tension too.
And there's tension.
But it's Hallmark, so it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
Tension.
It's it's
whisper.
It's Hallmark tension,
Right.
And safe tension. And when they told me it was Rick, I was like, what? So Rick and I had known each other for years. So this was a no-brainer.
So I'm amazed at his pivot. I've been talking a lot on my show about, confidence. Actually, I'm doing a podcast on confidence, and that you have to keep doing these things, these new things, to build your confidence muscle in these other areas. I started out my career as a sports writer, so I knew you as a basketball player.
Yeah.
I knew you as an NBA champion, at some point. Somebody, because I used to have my top 5 best-looking players in the NBA, and you were on it. Reggie Theus.
Was he number 1?
I can't say. I won't say. You were on the list.
He's finer than Reggie.
Reggie Theus was on the list. It was I won't go into it. You're in the top 5.
After.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll take it.
about it afterwards.
Was Mount
You made the
Rushmore?
top 5.
Yes. It is all, Jimmy. Anyway, so how did you know that you could do this? This acting thing, because it's
You know what?
you're good.
To your point about building the confidence, I still at times don't know whether I know what I'm doing. I just know I'm doing it opposite amazing people that know what they're doing, right? And so it's just allowing myself to constantly be a beginner in life, and whatever I'm afraid of, I usually leap in and try. And I don't have too much noise about not being good at it at the beginning. I just don't expect to be. I think a lot of people are afraid that they won't be good at something, so they don't try, right? And therefore they don't allow themselves to grow into being competent, and then there's steps to it, right? I wasn't a great actor when I first started. I may have had some talent, but eventually I just progressed by constantly getting on the horse and trying, but also while I was in those experiences, really sucking up as much of the people around me, the expertise around me, and learning from them and asking questions and being a beginner and being a student of every experience I was in. So that's how I, can stay around for 25 years and slowly pick up the skills and then putting in the work, though, going to class, doing the things that
so being on the Lakers, because, like now we see LeBron in things, and, guys are doing the Hollywood thing all the time. Back then, it wasn't such a big path for you to go from the court to doing this.
It wasn't as accepted. I think just even this generation of athlete is now really taking a keen interest in their careers outside of basketball, as they know that'll come to an end at a really young age in their lives. So they're preparing themselves for a life after basketball. Some of them may have entertainment interest in their, and as we see in LeBron, he has it with his production stuff, but he's also acted. He's going to be doing Space Jam 2 this summer. But for that, it's just as long as you respect what you're doing, because there's people that do it and they've been doing it all their life. They've been training. They've been going to school for it. And as long as you don't carry an entitled attitude about it, because no one's walking off the street going, "I want to play for the Lakers." People think they may be able to do it. People may be tall and fast and can jump high, and they may think, okay, well, that should qualify me to play for the Lakers. But there's a lot else that goes into it, right? And so that's an approach I've had with acting back in 19. You mentioned Oz, my first experience was here in this city on a movie, Eddie, which was a New York movie, and then I did Oz, and then I did He Got Game with Spike Lee. Those are my first beginnings, but you just keep respecting the craft and searching out how to get better.
And Holly's been doing this since she was 4.
Yeah.
In front of the camera. So you've watched the industry evolve. To be able to have an Al Roker take a book series and produce it himself, and then the world is open now, and there was a period where people were a little disgruntled for folks like coming off the basketball court or coming out of rap, and going into acting without the skill. And Samuel L. Jackson's talked about this a little bit, but you've been in long enough to watch the transformation and then the empowerment, because you're also a boss.
Yeah, I've been watching that, and I was listening to Rick talk about, he maintains a level of humility that I think is what really keeps him working. Even Rick knows a lot more than he leads on that he knows, and so when he comes into a situation, he's wide-eyed, and he looks everyone in the eye, and he connects with everybody. So he makes everybody in the room feel like he's learned, but in his mind he's probably going, I already know that, I've been done that, I know that. No, but the thing about Rick is that he's able to do that, and that is what makes the experience working with him so good. What I've seen over the years, just to your point, it's just been a shift. And there was a moment where myself too, I was a little salty, at some of the, you know, maybe rapper, actor, whatever that would come
reality
in,
TV show people,
and get really, really like meaty roles. Like, you know, I would see that. I remember, I don't want to name any names, but I just know that I felt like, wow, that's interesting. And I know women that have been out there that have really been trying to get jobs, actors been trying to get jobs for years, and these big meaty roles come along and they kind of stunt cast it, right? But a lot of them are like Rick, taking it very seriously. So you got to give them credit. You say, you know what, they're studying, they're meeting with people, they're connecting, they're hustling, and so that's a lot of this game is a hustle. A lot of it is. Being an executive producer now of our project Meet the Peete, you know, it's a little different because my employees are my family.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah.
And your mom.
And my mom. You can't tell her nothing. You can't tell her nothing. At 82, you can't tell Miss Thing anything.
You couldn't tell her anything at 22.
Okay,
so.
Exactly. So she's but I've learned so much about just really wrangling people, and then the post-production process. And I don't know that I would have been able to be executive producer 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So I do feel like the opportunities are there, and they're just stronger than ever. So I feel very empowered by what's happening now in the business. And I've let go of all my little bitterness about anybody who wants to come in and try to do this that's not a, you know, formally trained actor.
Well, Meet the Peetes is on now, season 2, in the throes of it right now.
Yeah.
Season 3 is coming as well.
We hope. Our fingers are crossed.
Okay.
We'll see. We've told some pretty good Peete stories this year.
Yes, you have.
And we've presented a lot of takeaway, which is what I wanted, especially for the autism world.
Yeah, you just gave me these beautiful bracelets.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
So Stella and Dot and Keep Collective, those are two companies that partner with Hollyrod Foundation during the month of April, Autism Awareness Month, and those bracelets, the proceeds go to Hollyrod Foundation, and they help us with our RJ's Place. So RJ's Place helps young people with autism get jobs, like RJ. You know, people, oh, your son's got a job. It's so great. If he didn't have pre-vocational training, when that opportunity moment came for the Dodgers, he would have failed miserably. So we want all kids with autism, young people with autism, to have that. And Stella and Dot has supported us. And those little bracelets are only like $29. But over the last 5 years, we've been able to raise over $600,000.
And you've been doing this since RJ was little.
No, actually, well, yes, we started Hollyrod because
not these bracelets, but
but we started Hollyrod because of my dad with Parkinson's, right? So my dad had Parkinson's, and then we expanded Hollyrod to autism a little later. Now, when RJ just got the diagnosis, I was in denial. I couldn't even talk about autism. You know, people are like, oh, Holly, you're out there, you're advocating, and you're a voice, and using a platform. I couldn't leave the house for almost 2 years.
So what did that mean to you? Because it's not anything that you did, it's not anything that he did.
I didn't know it was anything I didn't do. I mean, you know, there was years when they used to blame, psychologists used to blame moms for autism. So you just didn't know. I didn't know what I did or didn't do.
And in our community, we, you know, black people, we
don't talk
about anything.
No, please. If I had a nickel, Karen, for everybody that told me I just need to whoop him or, you know, just discipline him better in order to get him out of this, you know, whoop the autism out of him, you'd be surprised.
No,
you know, people in our my
own
family did that too. So we just culturally have an issue with that, and that's another reason why I wanted this platform to show this black family talking about autism and what we do, you know, like how we rally around this kid. I speak to a lot of churches all the time. I see kids in the congregation that have autism, and I'm like, you know, are y'all taking care of you? Are you diagnosed? And so I really try to get the word out.
Because it presents differently in different kids.
You've only you meet one kid with autism, you've only met one kid with autism. It's a spectrum disorder. But this month, you know, is a big deal because it's Autism Awareness Month, and we like to get the word out. So I'm really excited that Hallmark Channel is airing these really autism-centric shows during the month of April. It's a really cool moment.
And Hallmark is where your new show, which kicks off April 14th, by the way, morning show mysteries. This is
3 of them. So three. So we'll be 3 Sundays in April. Yeah.
Okay.
Every Sunday.
Successive.
Yeah.
And then
must solve Sundays, Karen.
Okay.
Hashtag. Get your hashtags
here's
out.
what we do. We encourage DVR.
Yes.
We encourage play immediately.
Yes.
After the DVR, we encourage go back.
Yeah.
And play again, because that's how it's all algorithms and clicks and stuff, and so we have to play that game as well. And I think a lot of us, we're busy, but let's DVR and let's support the things that we want to see, because these stories need to be told. These kinds of, you know, light romantic mystery that show black people not as monoliths, but as a full, complete human beings with this nice little safe tension.
Yeah.
That's important. That's important. It's the Hallmark Channel, which we don't see enough of us on there.
No, but we are more and more, and we're doing so much, and we have a lot of things in development. Both Rick and I, so we're really excited about Hallmark Channel's commitment to diversity. A lot of networks and channels say, "Oh, we're going to diversify," but they really have done it. So
and that looks like producers and rips and
well, in Vancouver, we shoot a lot of stuff in Vancouver, so that is kind of what that is. He named the one. He named the one brother on
There's one person.
All right,
we're gonna do a lightning rod on the Black Trivia. No, I'm just playing. I got one more question. No, I'm just playing. All right, but I did listen in, and Rick Fox said he came here in 1985, and he thought he was Prince.
Right.
And then who else was it? Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. When I saw Prince was so short.
Where did you come from?
I came from the Bahamas.
The Bahamas, right?
So.
Have you been back? I mean, not to visit, but I mean,
he's almost at the Queen. I'm the Queen.
My family's there.
He's the king. Him and Lenny Kravitz are both the kings of Bahamas.
Are they?
Yes.
Lenny is
yeah.
Very much
I don't know. Okay.
He lives in Eleuthera. I'm from Nassau.
You have a house there?
I'm in Nassau, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
That's his, like...
You didn't know
no, I didn't know you were from the Bahamas, but I didn't know, you're Hollywood now.
Did you know he was Bahamian and Canadian?
No, I did not know he was Canadian and Bahamian.
My mom's Canadian, my dad's Bahamian. I was born in Toronto, and my dad took the family home after about 9 months. Went back to the Bahamas.
So you have dual citizenship?
Grew up there.
I'm so jealous.
I've been in the Bahamas ever since. Yeah.
So... How does this work? So if someone marries you, do they get the citizenship too?
Bahamian and Canadian, yeah.
Okay. Right. How you doing? You single? What's up, Rick Fox?
How you doing?
What's up? How you doing?
Karen,
What's happening?
we can talk.
We gotta work this. I gotta get dual citizenship. I don't know.
Here's the thing. Every time Rick and I go to Vancouver to work, Rick just glides on through because he's Canadian, got a Canadian passport.
Don't you know?
Me, I'm in the back waiting through hours of immigration with my little American passport. Because
but he's so cocky with it too.
No, not at all. I laugh because she hits me.
You don't wait for me.
Look, it's the price I pay.
Like, I'll meet you. I'll see you tomorrow.
No,
oh my God.
They won't let me wait. They push us off to the side.
Right.
They kick us out.
Canadians, they like go on through.
Sure. How's Sasha?
She's good. She's in college now at 18 years
Here?
old. No, in the West Coast. She came out west. She's in Chapman University.
Nice.
And in the film and television program, she wants to go into the that side of the business.
That's. Are you nervous about that?
No, because she's got some good people around her. Meaning,
and good genes.
Some of the things. I mean, look, the entertainment industry is a tough place, right? But she's what we've encouraged her because she's been making videos since she was 5 years old. But we encourage her to basically garner the skills of a filmmaker. And then you can put yourself in anything you want to make. You can tell stories, you can direct, you can shoot, you can do all those things, you can write. And so she's learning all of those skills so that she can make Hollywood work for her. Not so that she has to work for Hollywood.
Karen.
No, and I'm saying in the era of people, I'm like Lena Waithe, Ava DuVernay, Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. I mean, I can just go on.
Yeah.
What story, Shonda Rhimes? What Kenya Barris?
Kenya.
What stories?
Power.
Come on! Yeah. Oh yes, what's her name? Courtney.
Not Courtney Cox.
I'll go.
It's Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox is another. She's a white actress. What stories haven't been told that you'd like to see? Because now we have a little bit more power, leeway, the ability to get things greenlit. Is there something that is there a role that you want to play?
I've been Adam Clayton Powell.
Yeah,
we've seen so many. I know, right? I had to think about it. It's been so many pieces done on him from a documentary standpoint, but he ended up in my home country. Harry Lennox did it. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, he's a friend of the show.
Yeah, Harry's great. Yeah. He did it great.
So you want to do Adam Clayton Powell? Why?
I want to do the later years. He ended up in the Bahamas. He ended up in the Bimini, where I'm from, and so it's just one of the things I want to do.
Hazel Scott. I see that.
But then I also want to tell some of the stories of The Wire is my favorite show. And so there's an element of
your
a lot
favorite?
of storytelling. Yeah.
I got roped into binge watching it last year.
Did you like it?
So I watched The Corner.
Yeah.
And it's just a very longer version of The Corner to me.
But
and I'm just like.
No, it was.
Well,
to
if
me,
you'd
it was
seen it when it first came out, I think
out,
you would have felt the originality of it. But I can see that.
It spawned a lot of I think other shows. But I want to tell the stories of the generation in the 80s in the Bahamas that really we were the middlemen for what you know to be the drug trade.
Okay.
You always hear about Colombia, you always hear about the U.S. and Miami, but we were the middle. The country was the middleman, and there's a lot of family members that I have. There's a lot of people. I mean, we're a small country, right? Only 250,000, 300,000 people, but we were the drug trade, and there was no drug trade without
the Bahamas.
The Bahamas, and I don't say that as to celebrate it. I'm saying that there's stories
but it's
there.
untold stories.
There's untold stories that when I hear of them, of basically just how much of an impact it had on all of that era. You just saw, you hear
was
Miami
basketball
Vice.
your way out of not being sucked into that?
My mom saw it as a way for me to exit a life that may have not ended up so promising as it has for me, because I had family members that ended up in jail and went that route, did well for themselves, but eventually they got in trouble. My dad was constantly bailing, all my cousins and out of jail. But I grew up and I left home at the age of 15 to go to States for high school. So I kind of escaped becoming a pirate, as you call it. But yeah, there's some stories there that I want to tell just because it's skimmed over.
I want to see those stories.
We're a huge part of the history of that era.
Same question to you, Holly Robinson Peete. What role would you like to play?
Well, for years I wanted to play Josephine Baker.
I see that.
So, quick story. So, when they were casting for that, originally, that Lynn Whitfield ended up playing, originally they were going to do her in at 2 ages, a young version and an older version. And Diana Ross was originally cast to do the older version of Josephine, and the director saw me for the younger versions a while back, and we were almost there, but then something happened with Miss Ross and whatever, and then Lynn swooped in, and then she played all of it,
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of ideal, I think, to tell the story. But for years I wanted to play her because I was obsessed with everything in France and the fact that she was so big there.
But even physically, I see when you
physically,
said it, I could see it.
I did a bunch of photos.
A bunch of action here, crime fighting girl.
Which
TV show.
Oh.
What?
Well, Rick knows I'm obsessed with Get Christy Love.
Ooh.
Okay. And we
Teresa
still haven't
Graves.
seen Teresa Graves, baby. And we still haven't seen. Well, when I was on 21 Jump Street, she was sort of I was trying to emulate her, totally different parts, but we were both cops. So I just used to ask producers to just say,
can I just kick somebody?
No, I said, please, can I kick a door down, pull a gun up, and just say, free sugar? Or you're under arrest, sugar, because that's what Teresa used to do.
Yes.
So Get Christy Love was one of my favorite shows.
Yes.
And they
it was
tried
only
to
on for a year and a half or
that's
something.
it, right? They tried to remake it with Whitney Houston, who looked remarkably like Teresa Graves, like unbelievably uncanny. That never happened, for obvious reasons. But one of these days, Get Christy Love, and it keeps going in and out of development. I think I might be too old to play her now.
Come on now.
But I'm just
Shut your
saying,
mouth.
one day. No, I mean they're looking at 30-year-old actresses to play her.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If we have the power, the magic wand, which we do.
Yeah.
All right, I could see that.
Get Christy Love.
Okay, and if you could do a project like we were talking about that has not been told, tell a story that hasn't been told.
I always felt like even though it has been told, it never really has been told in media, and it's in production now, so I'm hoping that they live up to all my expectations. But Harriet Tubman's story to me has never really been told in a real meaningful way.
Underground was so close.
They got
to doing
close,
that.
yeah.
That monologue, that minty monologue, Aisha Hines.
Yeah.
To this day, the single most pivotal monologue I've ever seen on television like that, where you knew if this next season got picked up that they would have been able to, because they were going to go into her whole story. If you remember, like how that ended last season, they were about to do that.
I know. And then Cynthia Erivo's playing her in a new movie. That's good.
I saw that.
And
there was some backlash.
Who's a little bit because she's British,
right? And
she's from the UK.
And it goes to when we think about a lot of our roles,
right.
Whether it's David Oyelowo or Chiwetel Ejiofor, who's Daniel Kaluuya, there's a lot of British actors playing roles that could go to American black actors. So
Correct.
there's like, you know, a little bit of friction there, which, you know, if you're good, you're good. But I
There's a little
that.
bit. There's a little bit, and I know
culture.
Cynthia got that. But she's such a phenomenal
She
talent
is.
that I just want to see her doing. I think it's a really good casting. But that's definitely Harriet is something I don't feel.
Where
like
would you
we've
do
really
Harriet? What period? Because they just
There's so
showed a new
many.
image of her in her. They say it's her early 40s. You know, she looks amazing.
seen. Right.
And for the first time we get to see a little softness because every image of Harriet
So
is very
hard. Yeah,
stern and
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just think
Gotta
her
be a
whole
love
life has
story
been
somewhere.
undersung. I
Yeah.
just feel like she is an unsung. We know her in our history books, but we need to see her. Somebody can really take that part and destroy it. So,
well. For now, we got to tune in to the Hallmark Channel. Tune in to all of that morning show mysteries starring Holly Robinson Peete and Rick Fox. That starts April 14th and successive Saturdays.
yeah, Sundays.
Sundays, excuse me,
Must solve Sundays. It's
Sundays.
okay. Must solve Sundays.
Must solve Sundays. And
Yeah.
then the Pete's.
Yeah, Meet the Pete's is on Monday nights at 9 Central.
Okay.
And we have 3 more episodes before we're finished. So.
Okay. Awesome.
So
and
April
then
14th, the 21st, and the 28th.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's my birthday weekend. And then you know, you can see Rick Fox in a whole bunch of stuff, including Greenleaf. So he just said he's
Rick's in everything.
He is in everything. But I like him in Greenleaf a lot, and I'm gonna love him in this because I already saw the little soft tension that y'all have. It's cute. It's cute. It's cute. I'm loving it. I didn't give you a resume, so let me do that because
Who, me?
people, because people like
Oh.
maybe I don't, you know, maybe they know
Okay,
you from
yeah.
21
Not sure
Jump
how they
Street.
know
You just
us.
mentioned it,
Yeah.
so you know if you watch 21 Jump Street, Holly Robinson Peete was Judy Hopps. If you watch Hanging with Mr. Cooper, she was on that too as Vanessa Russell, and she was also Dr. Melina Ellis in NBC's WB sitcom For Your Love, and Rick Fox is in everything. So and then you can go watch some old NBA tapes.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. If you like basketball,
I'm just playing. Who you got for the NBA Finals this year? Since I know both of you are into it.
I'm gonna go with the Houston Rockets.
Wow.
That's bold.
And I'm gonna go with, yeah,
You think they're gonna get through the Warriors?
I do, and I'm
Okay.
gonna go with the Raptors.
Oh,
that's his
really?
home.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's that's not your
I think
head. That's your
Milwaukee,
heart.
As good as Milwaukee is, I think I don't know if they're ready to go to the NBA Finals. I mean, they had the best record in the league, but
And Houston's gonna win it all.
I think Houston wins it all.
Okay, Holly.
I think Milwaukee. This Greek freak guy.
Yes.
He's just.
Anthony
I think he's
Kupo.
going to take it to another level. And I don't think they can beat him. And that's in the East, right?
Yes.
And then in the West, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody show me they can really, really beat the Warriors.
Because the playoffs is a different animal.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
So
I wish the Rockets good luck. I would like to see them do it, but
I think
not
if
this
Chris Paul is healthy, because they would have done it last year, even
Yep.
with the tension and the all of that, because Chris got hurt and they didn't have after that they didn't have an answer. It all went downhill because
Well, he's back and healthy right now.
because
So
you can't put everything on James Harden. He's just not made for that.
No.
So I just said it. He's
Yep.
talented,
Right.
it's
No, he's very
but basketball is hard.
And next year it's going to be the Lakers.
Listen, I want to believe. Listen, I'm the biggest LeBron fanatic, and I get trolled a lot because I'm blind by it. Like I said, he was going to the playoffs and win a championship this year. That's how blinded I was, even though my head was like, "Child, please." But this is a mess right now, Holly.
Yeah, it
The
is.
Yes, Holly,
Magic stepped down.
Why did Magic step down, Holly?
I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Do you know something, Rick Fox?
No.
Because I see you
knows.
trolling her right
Rick
now.
was a Laker.
I
If
know.
not anybody else, Rick should
Rick,
be
what
the
you
answer.
know?
Yeah, what do you
I
know,
know
Rick?
that Holly is close
No,
friends
Rick
with
Fox.
Magic.
What do you know?
I know that.
We need some
I know-
intel.
I wish I had the intel that Holly has. Holly?
See how he does?
I see what I'm
See what
seeing.
he
What's
does?
happening right now.
He's just
With
mad
this
that
light
you like cut his
tension.
nose
No.
off.
You sure did.
You did? Okay.
I tried to cut his
You
nose
tried
off.
to-
Literally?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I drew
literally.
blood.
We were getting
Okay.
ready to do this interview, and Holly was doing me a solid, and she was like, "Hey, you need to get that
Oh,
the
nose hair?
nose hair."
And I
Okay.
clipped
And she
him right
called
here.
for the scissors from
With a scissor?
For the scissors.
All right,
Oh,
well, you
I
don't
started
need that part of
bleeding.
your nose.
No,
Because,
don't need that.
that's just
Yeah,
for
that's just,
catching
I
boogers or
don't know.
something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
That's all right.
It's a part just for hiding long nose
Yeah.
hairs.
Karen, do you know how much of a fan I am of yours?
No, I do-
Can I just say? I told you this last time I
You
saw
did, and I didn't believe you.
listen to you all the time. In the car, I drive a minivan.
I was gonna say,
I drive a
minivan.
minivan. There's no shame in my game. And I listen to you all the time. I love your show. I'm always excited to come on the show. And you're just one of my favorites. You're just one of my favorites.
I don't even know how to. I'm
just
horrible
embrace
with that.
it.
All right, okay. I do have to learn how to do that.
Let it in. Let it in.
I have to breathe in the compliments. It's tough, but I appreciate you. And it's to get to do this, to talk to some amazing people, and I've been following both of your careers, but especially you, because there's parallels. It's just a blessing to be here. So I just want to thank you guys.
Yay,
Thanks
thank
for
you for
indulging.
having us.
Appreciate you.
Nice to see you again.
All right, Sundays, April 14th, 21st, and 28th. Tune in. It is Holly Robinson, Peete, Rick Fox, Morning Show Mysteries.
I like the way you
on
say it like
the
that.
Hallmark
The
Movies and Mysteries channel.
There we go.
It's the Karen Hunter Show. We'll be right back.